Hi, I'm Rachel Bailey, and this is another episode of 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, where I'll give you effective, if not intuitive, strategies for handling frustrating behavior in a respectful way. So, today we're going to talk about how to handle homework resistance, which, not surprisingly, is one of the top reasons for power struggles in a lot of people's homes. And that's because, in many cases, parents want their children to do the homework, and children just don't want to. So, what you might be thinking when your kids resist doing homework is, I cannot give in on this one. It's important for his future that he learns how to do his homework. He has to learn how to be responsible and do things that he doesn't want to do because that's what life is all about. And it's my job to teach him that. But you may feel frustrated and helpless in figuring out how to actually get him to do it. So you might respond his resistance by suggesting some things that have worked for you in the past when you didn't feel like doing something, or maybe resort to nagging or even setting consequences when homework isn't done. But here's tip number one. When a child only does homework to avoid consequences, like your nagging or your punishment or your suggestions, they don't actually internalize a sense of responsibility, and more power struggles are likely to occur. If you think about it, what happens once these consequences are removed? Is your child still going to do homework? I saw this a lot when I was working with older adolescents once they went to college. They had no idea how to motivate themselves or structure their time because their parents had spent so much time nagging and punishing them. And it doesn't get to the root of why children aren't doing the homework to begin with. Because there are some children who do their homework without a problem. When they don't, there is always a reason. Even the reason I just don't feel like it has a much deeper root. So here's tip number two. If you want to teach your child to be internally motivated to do homework, find out why they're not doing the homework and solve the problem. A lot of parents, when I ask them why their children aren't doing homework, will say, well, they're lazy. But I can tell you that for as many adolescents and younger kids that I worked with who even came in and told me they were lazy, we figured out that not one of them actually was. The more likely culprits for not doing homework, after we dug deep, we found out it was things like having difficulty focusing on monotonous tasks, or struggling to sustain mental energy after a day at school, or even having trouble with the subject, or maybe even unrelated to the homework. It could be that they wanted to assert control and homework was the only way they knew how. So once you find out what the problem is, you can teach your child how to solve the problem. So for example, if they have difficulty focusing on monotonous tasks like homework, teach them how to find some stimulation by listening to music that doesn't have words in it, or holding a stress ball, or walking around while doing homework, or chewing on something while doing homework. If you solve the problem, the behavior is going to go away. Because honestly, your kids know that they need to do homework. They know they needed to get into a good school and get a job. They don't need to hear it again. What they don't know yet how to do is solve problems and overcome obstacles like, I don't feel like doing my homework. Once we teach them how to overcome these obstacles, you just be surprised at how many actually use the tools that we teach them to become the responsible person that we want them to be. So that was 2 tips for handling homework resistance in an effective and respectful way. Fill out the form that comes with this video to see how these tips apply to your situation. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I'll address them in an upcoming 2 Tips in 3 Minutes. See you next time.